If you've tried everything and still feel burned out, I'll tell you exactly why. Most people think that burnout comes from working too much, but that's not actually the problem. There are four specific mistakes that keep people stuck, and chances are you're making at least one of them. The first one is treating burnout like a time management problem. Most people think if I just organize my schedule better, things will improve and I'll be more productive. You've tried every tactic, from color coding your meetings to one on ones. You've even added focus time for those deep thought work projects. But burnout isn't a calendar issue, it's an energy and identity issue. You can have the most optimized schedule and still feel completely drained if you're overextended, you're operating from pressure, not intention, and your work conflicts with your values. As a former HR leader, I worked at a company that was acquired by a larger firm. And with any merger and acquisition, streamlining staff is part of the business plan. I worked closely with the executive and senior leadership teams to determine which positions would get eliminated. The layoffs happened, and a couple weeks later, I was told that we were creating some new positions. After reviewing the job descriptions, I noticed that they were very similar to the positions we just eliminated. And I knew for certain that they were when leadership told me that, Emily, get creative with the job titles. Now that conflicted with my own core values. It depleted my energy. It ate away at me internally. I spent more time and energy on that than anything else. So burnout isn't about managing time. It's about managing your energy and expectations. Shortly after that incident, I resigned from the company. The second mistake that keeps people stuck is trying to push through. High performers default to, I have to get through this week, this month, this year, and then things will calm down. But it never does. Last week, I spoke with a former colleague of mine who holds a highly visible financial position. And she's the first one to say, this is a busy time of year. Once I get through this, things will get better. A year later, things did not get better for her. They actually got worse. And she knew that it was no longer sustainable and needed something to change. What happens when you push through? You train your brain to normalize stress. But what happens is your body never normalizes stress. It comes up as health issues, and they don't come up overnight. They creep up gradually. You may notice that you get sick more often. You may get the common cold, which takes weeks or even months to recover from. They turn into sinus infections or just long-term respiratory infections. Those stomach aches turn into digestive issues. Those mild headaches turn into migraines. And the symptoms just get worse over time. When you push through, you also increase cognitive fatigue. Have you ever come home from work and you don't feel like you've been very productive, but you feel completely exhausted? You don't factor in to all the decisions that you've made that day or thought about all the things that were on top of mind. That's cognitive fatigue. And of course, pushing through, it delays the inevitable crash. The longer you wait, the worse it gets. Now, you may feel that pushing through is discipline, but it's actually disconnection from your own limits. The third mistake that people make and keeps them stuck is focusing only on the surface level fixes. We've all done them. When we go through a rough patch at work, and once that project's completed or that launch is done, you take time off. You may take a vacation. You return back to your self-care routines. You start walking again, going to the gym, exercising, meditating, whatever it is that you consider part of your self-care routine. And don't get me wrong, these help temporarily, but they don't solve burnout. And the reason why they don't solve burnout is burnout goes a whole lot deeper. It's not just the workload. It's chronic over-responsibility. It's identity attachment to achievement. It's lack of boundaries. And I'm only scratching the surface. These are only a few of the contributing factors to burnout. You don't need more recovery time. You need structural change in how you operate. The fourth mistake that keeps people stuck is waiting too long to address the problem. Most people don't act until they're completely exhausted, where they can't even imagine adding another item to their plate, even if the solution is right in front of them and they know the solution will get them on a better path forward. People also wait too long to act. They wait until their performance declines. And yes, even for high achievers, their performance declines because they are the competent one, the reliable one, the one that everyone goes to have their problems resolved. And what happens? It wears on you over time. You may not even be conscious of it, but your body is, and your body slows down as a way of protecting itself. And I'll tell you, you may not be conscious of it, but management is well aware of it because you didn't operate like you once did. And so when layoffs come around, your name is added to the list. And before you know it, you become part of that layoff. That's why there are so many high performers that get laid off and they're scratching their head wondering, how did this happen? And why did this happen to me? People also wait too long to act until their health is impacted. And as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually. It happens gradually to the point where you don't even realize it until it completely depletes you. And by that point in time, it's not just burnout, it's system depletion. Burnout isn't caused by working too hard. It's caused by a misalignment with how you're wired to operate. And if you don't change how you operate, no amount of rest, time off, or productivity hacks will fix it. That's why there are so many high performers who stay stuck, doing more, trying harder, and still feeling completely exhausted. If this resonates, comment a line below. And if you're at a point where you know something needs to change and you're ready to approach this differently, I offer a few calls each week to explore next steps. I'll include the link in the description box below. And I'll see you in the next video.